Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your sometimes daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I've got coffee in my PlayStation mug today. Just this little bit of hint to caramel, and it tastes so good. So a little bit of housekeeping, I should probably let you know, is that I am going to be attending TennoCon. I'm leaving literally this afternoon to head out to London, Ontario to attend TennoCon. It is the Warframe developer Digital Extremes annual convention. It is actually their 10th anniversary of starting this convention. And so we're going to hear some news about Warframe and Soulframe, and I'm hoping to be able to talk to some of the devs about what they've been working on. So I'm going to have some content coming out from that. So just as a heads up, I'm going to try to be able to at least continue to do Gaming Insight daily for when I'm at the hotel. We shall see. I'm hoping to be able to at least do those. I'm bringing my my mobile sort of set up so I can be able to do some episodes while I'm there, and potentially also work on some episode or at least some videos, one or two potentially of at least what I'm going to be doing at TennoCon, whether it's going to be a vlog or just, you know, an interview with some of the devs. We shall see. I'm kind of keeping it a little bit open, not really committing to specifically anything TennoCon related. I'm just basically just trying to be able to like figure out what I want to be able to produce from there, and just kind of going with the flow. But in regards to this show, my goal is to try to still be able to have an episode out tomorrow, Thursday, and also Friday as well. And so, yeah, if it means I have to wake up super early to do it, yeah. All right, let's jump into the news, because actually, instead of just jumping into one particular news story, we do have three that we're going to go over, and some of which I have some accessibility thoughts on. First up is Donkey Kong Bananza reviews are out. Tomorrow is the launch date of the Donkey Kong Bananza for the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm hoping to be able to get my hands on it as of tomorrow, and hope I can be able to get a chance to play it while I'm at TennoCon. Got a lot of stuff going on at TennoCon. I'm going to try my best. Or at least I'm going to try to be able to at least play it for a little bit. But I am going to be planning on doing a review for Donkey Kong Bananza for accessibility at some point. I just wasn't able to get my hands on a review copy of this game before launch. So so you have to wait until after the game is launched for order to be able to hear my thoughts on accessibility. But let's go through the Metacritic scores. This is kind of the review roundup of Donkey Kong Bananza. This is off of Metacritic. Right now, Metacritic is giving it a Metacritic must play with universal acclaim set at a score of 91. I actually just watched one of the reviews from IGN, and the review for IGN officially, they're giving it a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece. So let's kind of go through some of the reviews and see what people have been saying. So I'm just going to go try to find the ones that we kind of are the outlets we kind of know about. So I'll just say, let's start with kind of the. Yeah, actually, let's load up all of them, because there's 78 critic scores right now. So let's see. Inverse gives it 100. Every time I get to a new layer, I'd immediately ignore the story objective and spend a half dozen hours just smashing things around like a toddler in a sandbox. All right, love that. IGN, once again, like I said, gives it a 10 out of 10, or at least 100%. The leader of the bunch is finally back to kick some tail in Donkey Kong Bananza, a brilliant successor to Super Mario Odyssey, and a smashing return for a classic Nintendo character. It was a bold choice to build the Switch 2's first 3D platformer around Donkey Kong instead of Mario, but it's proven to be the best decision Nintendo could have made. DK's satisfying, expressive movement and powerful dynamic abilities create a truly groundbreaking adventure. The ambitious, destructible layers of this underground world are densely packed with satisfying collectibles, abundant charm, and clever challenges that never seem to run out of smart ideas, even long after the credits have rolled. Bananza is a constant crescendo across its 20-hour campaign and beyond, with puzzle platforming concepts that only grow richer as DK and Pauline dive deeper toward the planet core. Every element comes together in complete harmony to create Nintendo's first Switch 2 masterpiece. High praise coming from IGN. They don't give out 10 out of 10 masterpieces lightly. I think I saw in the review, actually, I think that Tom Marks had a conversation with, I believe his name is Logan, who reviewed the game, in that it's the first 10 out of 10 that they've given in 2025, and the first one they've given out in probably about a year. So they don't give the 10 out of 10s lightly. I know people sort of think that they do, considering it is IGN, but like they don't, they really don't. They've given a lot of 8s and 9s over the past year. Or at least the past few years, if you think about it, but not a lot of 10 out of 10. So that is saying something. Let's see. Let's look through. Okay, Washington Post gives it 100. As the debut big adventure for the new console and its increased computational power, Nintendo wants this belief to punch through. Technology for the sake of play, not just for visual pleasure, is king. That was one thing that kind of came up. That there was a news story that that people were saying that, or some people, or the developers were saying that they've sacrificed sort of like frame rate for just fun. And I think that that's actually a great response to those who be like, I need my 123 FPS at my at 472,000 RPM graphics card. Like, I don't give a crap. Does it play well? Then that's the important part. Like, does it play? Does it, like, yes, can it, like, unless it's for accessibility reasons, I'm sorry. I don't think that that personally, I don't think a lot of people should care about how much, like, the difference between 120 and 240 frames per second. Because really, do you need that specific amount in multiplayer games? Sure, because the more frame rates you have, the better you can build the reaction time for certain things. But when it comes to a platformer from Nintendo, if you're going to care about the fact that a frame drops, you got a lot more concerns than the game itself. So you're just finding things to nitpick. So, but I love that Washington Post kind of calls it out. It's like, technology for the sake of play, not just for visual pleasure, is king. Because yeah, it's a lot happening in the game, and I'm sure they could spend maybe a year basically working on the frame rate. But if it sacrifices fun, I don't want it. That's what I'm saying. Nintendo Insider also gives it 100. Donkey Kong Bananza is nothing short of a love letter to the big ape's past, a regrounding of his present, and the start of a wondrous new chapter for the hijinks that await in his future. It's a celebration that the gaming icon has long deserved, and a game that has delivered memories that I will cherish for decades to come. An experience that kept upping the ante right until the very end. It was hard not to smile from start to finish with childlike wonder at the spectacle that Nintendo has achieved. The bar has once again been raised. Very much high praise. Let's see if we can find another at least site that not necessarily that at least a site that I kind of consume to see. Digital Trends gives, here we go. Digital Trends gives it a 90. Donkey Kong Bananza could have easily been a reskin Mario game with stars replaced with bananas, but Nintendo chose the riskier path. While it has the familiar structure of past 3D platformers, everything about how I engage with Bananza felt like a deconstruction of the game, pun intended. While it may stick a bit too close to a familiar core structure, Bananza goes deep in exploring clever and unique ways to use its destructive systems to build a confident new platformer. And I think here we go. GameSpot gives it a 90. As part of the launch lineup for the Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bananza nicely fills the gap for one of Nintendo's signature substantial single-player adventures. But more importantly, it's an excellent game in its own right and deserves to be mentioned alongside games like Mario Odyssey as among Nintendo's best recent work. That's awesome to hear from GameSpot. And PC Mag gives it a 90 by swapping the little plumber for the big ape. Donkey Kong Bananza delivers a potent blend of action, creative level design, and environmental destruction that boldly reinvents the blockbuster Nintendo platformer formula. And I want to see if there was another one, because I usually try to be able to find either VGC or CG Magazine. Here we go. CG Magazine, local Ontario outlet. Donkey Kong Bananza is a fantastic showcase for the Switch 2 and the start of new things to come for the Donkey Kong property, which puts him on par with his overall wearing Italian rival. Love that. And let's see, where is VGC in all this? I'm trying to find it. Let me just search for VGC. Where is it? Did I miss it? It says that there's one of one. Where is VGC? Oh, here we go. It's down at the bottom. I wasn't even looking. So VGC, which is the site that I use a lot, Video Games Chronicle, gives it an 80. Falling slightly short of Odyssey's genius, Donkey Kong Bananza is still a thoroughly entertaining Switch 2 platformer with a heartfelt story and DK's most memorable adventure in years. So what are my, like, after watching some of the reviews, I'm going to bring up actually IGN's review because I believe that actually I'll have it up in the background just to kind of at least showcase, or at least because there was some things that came up during the review that I felt was kind of interesting. I'm gonna mute the audio, but there was definitely when they were talking about sort of the different sort of like a mode, like kind of like different sort of Bonanza modes, I guess what they're calling. I apologize if I got that wrong, but essentially it kind of they're like kind of the super powered versions of DK, and one of the things they kind of mentioned as part of it, so I'll bring up the video of it here, but essentially what was, when you get into that those modes, they did say that you will be able to, like, you're collecting a lot of bananas in order to be able to power up. So that is what it's, so you have to kind of collect a lot of gold and bananas in order to be able to use, I think it's gold, or I think it's specifically bananas, but anyway, they do say that the thing that you need to collect for the power-ups are plentiful, so you do get to be able to use this mode, these modes, quite a bit. And there are puzzles that are that you're gonna find, or secrets you're gonna be able to find throughout the game, and this is why I think that there's actually there's some decent consideration for accessibility, because they kind of the reviewer equated this to sort of the Breath of the Wild or Legend of Zelda, and how they sort of approach puzzles is that basically you can go at the puzzles however you want, and some of the specific power-ups essentially allow you to not have to, like this part right here where you're basically a giant ostrich. It is meant to be a platforming specific puzzle or a challenge, but you could just switch over to your ostrich, which basically allows you to fly over certain enemies or certain things so that you can avoid some of the challenging aspects of the platformer. Now, some people would say, "Oh, that's cheating. You're cheating yourself out of an experience." But in reality, it's just, what I like is that they kind of take it as, again, they kind of using Breath of the Wild as this. It's like, hey, whatever works best for you, that's how you should do it. And that's part of accessibility. It's like, whatever works best for you, whatever's more comfortable for you, 100% do it. So if you find a better solution instead of having to be able to follow along with the platforming aspect of the game, then you should absolutely give it a try. And so I like that. I like that specific approach to gameplay. Now, granted, does that mean that the whole game has considerations for accessibility? No, I mean, I could definitely tell that there's going to be a lot that I'm going to have to discuss when I do the review of the game. A lot of it being sort of the chaos of everything that's happening, and you have it's hard to be able to tell what's happening on screen. But there are some other considerations I think that will be worth talking about, like the fact that Pauline can be able to lead you to where you're supposed to go. The fact you can also be able to, you can just mainline the game. You don't have to search through all the puzzles if you want to. Kind of allows you to be able to, like, explore at your own pace, or just explore if you want. And if you find that exploration is not really super accessible, you could still be able to at least reach the end of the game, hopefully relatively easily. So I think that I've always been a fan of Donkey Kong. I remember one of the earliest Super Nintendo games that we played as a kid with my brother and I was the Donkey Kong Country series. I think we actually had Donkey Kong Country 2 first before we actually got Donkey Kong Country, but it was, and then we continued playing obviously DK3. We didn't have an N64, so we never got to play Donkey Kong 64, and nor did we kind of were adults by the time like Tropical Freeze came out, so we never really interested in that. But because we kind of grew, but this brings back a lot of I think the joy of what I'm going to love about Donkey Kong from when I was a kid. And even this, there are also going to be some 2D platforming points in the game that I absolutely am going to love, because it brings back old school DK and DK in a new package. So I think that, yes, it was at a risk to be able to put Donkey Kong as sort of its first like platformer for the Switch 2 instead of Mario, but I think that is a risky but a bold choice to make. And you know what, I've talked about this before. I know that I've said that the demo did not play well. I think that in regards to, like, it just definitely did not sell the game, as it were, with the 20 minutes that we had to play. A lot of it being because a lot of the secrets were essentially kind of hidden from players, because they were wanted to reveal those later on. The fact that basically your rock companion turns into Pauline, so that stuff like that. Like, so that's why I was sort of like, okay, I'm reluctant, but I'm going to wait and see. The direct sold me, the reviews sold me even more, and I think that this is going to be a great game for me to be able to play, and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on a copy. Hopefully tomorrow, we shall see. So again, expect a review from me. But I want to hear your thoughts. Are you excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza? Or do you have a Switch 2, or do you are you waiting to be able to get a Switch 2 to be able to play this? I would love to be able to hear all your thoughts in the comment section down below. All right, next story, we have continue on with Nintendo and accessibility. Nintendo's next competitive Switch 2 online game is getting a free trial. This is by Andy Robinson over at VGC. Announced on Wednesday, Nintendo will hold the Drag and Drive Global Jam event exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online members. Players will be able to download Drag and Drive ahead of release, Nintendo said, and then it will be playable during 3 set online sessions listed below. Saturday, August 9th, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific, or they're giving military time. Or also 1700. Oh yeah, so 5 p.m. to, I think, 10 p.m. 9 p.m. No, 9 p.m. Yes, 5 p.m. So 3 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time as well. Those are the two times on Saturday, August 9th. And then Sunday, August 10th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. And it looks like, yeah, just those three particular time. I can't talk this morning. Online sessions will be on during those times. So let me just think of it through Eastern Standard Time, just for my own math. So Saturday, August 9th, it'll be this is 3 a.m. Oh, okay, I see. So 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific time. I guess is also for the UK audience, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then 5 p.m. 17 so 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. So that is actually, oh my gosh, actually that, so 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern is 6 a.m. to, wow, time zone math. So I'll just start at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, August 9th, and then 8 p.m. on Saturday or Eastern Standard Time, and then Sunday it'll be noon to basically I would say 3 p.m. 4 p.m. Yeah, noon to 4 p.m. On Sunday. I'm so sorry. Just look up the article. Look up the article if you want to basically find the times. I'm terrible at time zone math, y'all. I'm so sorry. The full game will release for Nintendo Switch 2 on August 14th. Drag and Drive is a wheelchair basketball game in which players use the mouse controls on both Joy-Con 2 controllers and move them forwards and backwards to emulate the movement of a wheelchair. Players can then lift the Joy-Con 2 controller to throw the ball in an attempt to get it in the basket and score points. Drag and Drive appears to be limited to 3v3 online mode, since different team sizes and solo play haven't been mentioned, and the game carries a budget price point of $20. And so this is interesting. I did not think that they actually were going to do a demo sort of like online sessions for this game, and I'm glad to see actually they're going to do that, especially for release. Now, will this be actually I'm going to try to see if I can get into this demo during these times, because the game releases on August 14th, so a couple of days after the demo sessions, and so I kind of want to be able to at least give it a try, mainly to see what accessibility it's going to have. Because when you have a wheelchair specific basketball game where using a wheelchair is the gameplay design, what I'm really hoping for is that there is alternate controls where you can just use a regular controller and a Joy-Con to play the game. I hope that that's the case. I hope, because if they don't, it is a gross, gross representation of disabilities. in the fact that basically you have a game that is designed to be working with as a game around using a wheelchair, and yet people in wheelchairs may not be able to play this. That's the thing that I'm afraid of, and so we shall see. I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope that there is, because but if they lock it to just you have to use the mouse mode for this, then I'm sorry, then that is an absolute failure from Nintendo. And I'll say so. It's like, I think that you had the opportunity to be able to do that. You don't necessarily need, like, yes, I know you want to be able to get players to be able to play with the new mechanics of the Switch 2. But if you're missing a core element of like, you're going to be missing a lot of core players because you can't play, they probably won't be able to play it on mouse, or maybe even not necessarily even from a comfort level, but just from just a preference level. They may not want to be able to play with the sort of touch control, or like the mouse controls for this, and they may want to be able to prefer to be able to play it on controller. And so I hope that that's the case. It may sort of negate sort of the fun element, I guess, to a certain degree of what this game is, but if you don't have like alternate controls, then I'm sorry, it's just not like you chose a disability mechanic that basically you disable players can't play, and that's a mistake in my book. But we shall see, and hopefully and I encourage you, if you're able to, you have a Switch 2 and you're getting and you want to jump into this, definitely check it out on August 9th and August 10th, just to see if you can be able to do a demo, because that'll definitely be a good sort of testing ground for it. I'm sure it's basically, this is for testing the servers, obviously, but you know, it's I want to test obviously the mechanics. And then, you know what? I think I'm going to stick it at that. There was one sort of story that I was going to talk about, but that I feel like that's more of a bigger rant thing. It was about King basically laying off people who worked on the AI, worked on some AI elements, and essentially they were working on AI that essentially replaced their jobs. And that's a rant for another day. Maybe if there's not enough news for tomorrow, I probably might cover that as a news story for tomorrow, but we shall see. And that's going to be it for today. So pretty much all Nintendo news specifically. So let me know what your thoughts. Are you going to try Dragon Drive? Are you going to play it? Or are you going to play Donkey Kong Bananza? Or are you interested in any of that? Any of those games? Let me know in the comment section down below. That's going to be it for me. Take care. Have yourself a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow from London, Ontario, from my hotel room for another episode of Gaming Inside Daily. Take care. Bye-bye.